Hello and welcome back to OT, the podcast. We're here to talk about watches, time and how to spend it. I'm Andy Green.
I'm Felix Schultz. How are you, Andy?
Fantastic. Almost as fantastic as today's guest.
The term industry legend is not thrown around lightly here at OT, the podcast.
Titan.
Legitimate Jean-Claude Biver is an industry legend.
Monolithic.
Do you know what's even better about this interview, Andy?
What's that?
Didn't expect to have it.
Yeah, so there was a bit of a kerfuffle with some scheduling.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that. So I recorded it at Dubai Watch Week, along with the next. You're going to be hearing a bit of these, you know. Dubai. Maybe we should call it the Dubai Files or something. I was meant to chat to his son, Pierre Biver, who wasn't able to make it, but I got the old man instead, which honestly I wasn't mad about because I know he's good for a chat. And
he is great for a chat. That's not a bad outcome.
Look, I don't want to spoil it too much. Didn't really talk about, you know, his brand of watches or watches too much. Got a little philosophical. Started, you know, talking about working with your family.
Nice. Well, that's a missed marketing opportunity for Biver watches, but I guess they can come on
in the show notes anyway.
Maybe 2024 they can come on as a sponsor and copy or follow in the footsteps of Zodiac, who have brought to fruition this episode of OT the podcast. Continuing on from last week, we've got Zodiac back, so we've got part 2 with Mr. Michael Pearson, who was delightful. Good feedback on him last week.
Okay, nice.
Good feedback on him this week, I'm imagining.
You know, last week, I don't know if you've realised what we did here, Andy, but last week we talked about the heritage, the history of Zodiac. Mm-hmm. This week, talk about the future.
Yes, yeah. Well, I mean, we'll save it because it's actually a really good chat. We talk about, you know, recent collaborations, new and upcoming releases. Good stuff, like strong stuff coming out of Zodiac. So, yeah, thank you to Michael Pearson and to Zodiac for supporting OT, like you all should be.
You know what else we've been getting good feedback around, Andy? Last week's episode with Hammer.
Oh, we dropped the hammer on you guys.
Yeah, so if you're only listening to this because you've recognised the name Jean-Claude Biver, hey, go back and listen to last week. Take 90 minutes out of your life, come back, and then listen to JCB.
It was peer-reviewed. That episode.
Yes, Tony Trainer said it was in. Tony Trainer of Hodinkee fame said it was in his top 3 OT episodes.
I really want to know what the other 2 are, but
I have a thought here, Andy. Has he been on OT once or twice?
At least once.
He probably likes one of the Eric Wind ones.
Both of them. Yeah, maybe
John Reardon or something like that.
Yeah, John Reardon, Eric Wind.
Yeah, we should go back and ask him. But that's my bets, and I'm sticking to it. Tony, if you're listening, please let us know in the comments after you like and share this episode. I've been doing some non-watch related media consumption and some watch related media consumption. Andy, do you want to hear about it?
Tell me all about it.
I've started reading Jason Heaton, esteemed watch journalist and all-round outdoorsman. His second novel, Sweetwater.
Highly anticipated ever since we finished the first one.
Yes, I have not noticed any Felix-related hench people in it yet. It would be too much to assume that I made the cut a second time, but look, there's still at least 50% of the novel to go. I'm not... Maybe there'll be an Andy. Maybe there'll be a hench person Green.
I hope so. We can ask. We've booked Jason to come back on to tell us all about Sweetwater.
Should be next week's episode, maybe the week after, depending on timing.
It's coming up. It'll be over for the Christmas break. You can enjoy it. You can grab yourself a signed copy for yourself or for your loved ones for Christmas.
Yeah. Also, speaking of hench, I watched David Fincher's new movie, The Killer, on Netflix. Have you seen this, Andy?
I've seen it pop up. It's on my list. I haven't made that effort yet.
It's all right.
Out of 10?
Oh, look, I mean, it's fundamentally like a procedural samurai movie.
Okay.
Your classic modern assassin, lone wolf, you know. And it's all about being professional. Like, it's very superficial, but not in a bad way. Like, there's nothing really meaty to it beyond this guy doing a thing, doing it well, and following that little journey. It's quite a small movie.
Okay.
But it's very beautiful.
Whenever those films just sort of pop up out of nowhere without any big, you know, marketing push or any, they just appear on Netflix. I always wonder.
I think because it's Fincher, this one's been pretty anticipated. As is the other one that I'm looking forward to is Zack Snyder's. Are you across this? Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon?
No.
It's kind of funny. So he wanted to make Star Wars and they wouldn't let him make Star Wars. So he made his own version of Star Wars, just changing everything enough that it wouldn't, you know, get lawyered. So it's like, and I'm sure they're like laser swords and the power, you know, or whatever it is. But yeah, it's It looks like Star Wars. It looks fun.
Okay. Very cool.
Work-related shenanigans. I went to visit Kennedy at the Ritz-Carlton for a surprise exploration of the world of Patek Philippe, which was kind of cool.
Was it ritzy?
It was. Side note, I didn't realize the Ritz-Carlton was down that end of Lonsdale Street. For the Melbourne people, it's quite close to Southern Cross. I was like, oh, is this right? But apparently it's new. It's been there for the last 6 months. Look, I didn't have an extensive experience of the hotel facilities, but from what I saw, it was lovely. The Patek exhibit was very nice. There was a room full of some particularly nice watches, some rarer stuff, some handcrafts, some of the new jewelry pieces. And I had the opportunity to try on some watches and lament the fact that I'll never own an Aquanaut.
Not with that attitude. I've been watching Netflix as well. I've started watching The Fall of the House of Usher.
Okay.
Solid. You said you'd done the book or the audio book. I can't remember.
Well, it's Edgar Allan Poe, so book a long time ago.
Yeah. Ultra weird, but there's some interesting watches in it. Weirdly, one of the obviously rich media conglomerate family type structure, but one of the kids is wearing a Konstantin Shakin, the Joker. So they're laughing with the eyes in the mouth. Kind of, they've done the clown, they've done the minions, but the Joker, which is obviously expensive, huge markup on it. But what a choice! And that sort of reflects his character in it as well. It
kind of fits for a that sort of weird, kooky, vaguely horror-y vibes.
Yeah, but for the character itself, it's sort of I feel like it's been fittingly placed on this particular character.
Again, this comes to my theory. And I don't know enough about entertainment law or economics. People are just doing this as write-offs.
Yeah, I do wonder if the actor kind of organised it themselves and was like, I'm going to wear it for this, or they bought it for that and can write it off. It can't have been a prop master. That's just it. It can't be. It feels deliberate. But there was also another character wearing a Vacheron Overseas, a female character wearing a Vacheron Overseas, which again, they're playing like a big farmer family with endless money, so it makes sense.
That is a less odd choice. Like Vacheron, if you said to me, Felix, what casting watches would you do? Like a super rich, uber expensive, quiet luxury, farmer family watch? I would put the Vacheron Overseas in that mix.
Why can't people pay us to do this? I would love to.
It has happened. I think we know people.
Yeah, like Danny Milton, Eric Wynn. Why are we not getting this work though?
We're not in America.
Maybe we can get the watch placements for Neighbours. Everyone gets a Tag Heuer and a sister. Or
Home and Away gets Breitling.
Come summer, you know what the perfect watch would be?
Zodiac.
Colourful Zodiac.
Nice.
Maybe we can pitch in the future Zodiac X Neighbours.
Mate.
Ramsey Street.
I know we want to talk to Zodiac, and that was a beautiful segue, but there's one thing I want to talk about beforehand.
Okay.
Something that was mentioned in our Discord. Again, you should all be in our Discord. Let's kick it off, Prue. Frank Mueller might accidentally have made a really sexy watch.
Whew. It's every now and then. You know what they say about a broken clock's right twice a day?
Lightning striking twice.
Statistically,
they'll
have to land. They will land a punch.
It's like Vesuvius. It's meant to go off at some point. The watch I'm talking about is the Curvex CX Piano. And perhaps what's great is they're not messing... They've taken everything that makes Frank Mueller, what made Frank Mueller great in the original iteration, which was that Curvex tonneau case, and not added anything else. They've even the Arabic numerals, which are pretty iconic to the brand, but pretty also 90s. They've taken them off, just given it a highly polished lacquery look, much like a piano, if you will. And the result is not unappealing, Andy.
Do we have a price for this watch?
Please let me refer to frankmueller.com.
It's like 30 or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's find out. Fun fact, unsponsored fact, our friends Kennedy retail them in Australia now.
Yeah, they've just... Well, I don't know if they've just picked them up, but they're starting to appear. Let me know the price.
Cortina have them in Southeast Asia? I don't
know. Anyway, should we just link the price up? You're going to find it in time?
I'm almost there. Let's go with, that looks like steel. Are you going to tell me a price, or are you going to say get in contact?
It's probably expression of interest, get in contact.
Yeah,
add a few hurdles,
it's
make
me
it
to fill in
things.
a form. I'm not.
Oh, no. Okay. All right.
Link it in our Discord.
You know what we do know the prices of?
What?
Zodiac watches, available via Time and Tide if you're in Australia, or zodiac.com if you're outside of Australia.
Well, let's find out more about them, Andy.
Felix, we're back with Mike Pearson to talk about the future of Zodiac. Last week we talked about the past. Today we are talking about the future. Mike, what does Zodiac have planned on the movement front? What can we get excited about?
We've started it this year, really. The last year, well, I've been with the brand now for 2 years, and what we've really tried to do is kind of hone the collection. Because what we've done over the last few years, just to go forward, is we've really built the brand back through limited editions. Great partnership watches with Hodinkee, Worn and Wound, some of the great stores over here in the US, Liberty of London in the UK. There's been some great things. What Zodiac did probably differently than what most of the brands is it built back on the limiteds, where when you sell through them or people get excited, they couldn't fall on a core collection. We didn't have enough watches, we didn't make enough watches, and we had STP, we've had it for a few years, which is Swiss Technology Productions, that's our movement. But with the scale of what we wanted to do for that core collection, it wasn't at the right place. So we'd do these one or two watches, and then there'd be a bit of a boost, and then it would fall away. To be honest, what I've tried to do the last couple of years is build a core collection. And with the movement itself, the STP 1-11, it's a bit of a workhorse. It's a all steel 44-hour power reserve watch, and it's based off of entry-level Sellita and Etta. Like most companies, you just need a bit of a base to start with. Any type of GMT, we would go to Soprod. Anything that was needed ISO certification, pro divers, we went to Sellita. And then obviously we just came out with a chronograph this year. That was a Sellita as well. We know that there is a power within having your own movement, not just in terms of it's an in-house, because that's what the watch community have learned to need, but what we wanted was to not be controlled by the supply chain. And so with that 111, it's been in a few different iterations over a few years. And not to talk about in school, but when you look at when we first started to build Zodiacs with the 111, the price maybe reflected some of the components on the inside. It was very, very inexpensive. We've got more expensive, still very attainable, but we've also increased the quality of all those steels on the inside of the movement. This year, we've released a watch with a silicon hairspring. By doing that, we've taken away the need for Sellita for our pro divers in the future. And with any of our three-handers going forward, anti-shock, anti-magnetic, a lot more strength within it component-wise. And what that will also do, and this is a bit of a first because it's not coming out until next week, is we're also going to be using that base of the 121 for our own GMT movement, which is huge. If STP and if we had all the money in the world, I know that we could probably build about 37 different calibers if we had all the money in the world. But even though we are owned by a huge company, they are saying, do this, we can give you that. And that massively means how many watches we make, the materials we use, where we can sell it, even the display that we have the watches on. You know, they're not just giving us the keys to the kingdom, they're making sure we grow properly. But the biggest thing through that is every time we sell a collection or we do well in a certain part of the year, that can then go back into STP and where we're built. And so the first things first with this 121, that will gradually move into all three-hander watches. And then obviously we've got this GMT movement, and then the future could be whatever we want. We are already working on things such as, again, say this quietly, manual wind watches, with high beat complications, even triple date moon phase are something that we've started to look at, which could be 2-3 years down the road, but we've got the bare bones with this particular movement upgrade. So I would say if you're looking for us to build tourbillons, we're not your brand. But if we want to keep within this particular mindset and price point to get a movement that can be trusted, which is I think what we've done really well this last 2 years, and to move forward, I'm so proud of that because we've got very, very strong foundations to build upon.
I love a brand with a plan. That's great. It's not just about the internals, which are sort of coming along nicely. Over the years, I've started to see a little bit more diversity on the outside. You've always done a lot of great color, but steel cases have been sort of, steel cases, regular dials. I'm seeing ceramic, I'm seeing funky stuff. What's happening on the material side?
Well, we asked all the time if we could do mother of pearl and diamonds because that's what people do in the watch industry. And we don't want to build a watch that's male or female. We just want to build Zodiac because if we've got color and you've got the right materials, anybody should buy it because anybody can. Our average size is 40 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
We start at 39 for the skin Seawolves, and the biggest we go is really 42. So it's accessible for everybody's arm. And then we do an Olympus, which is 37 millimeters. But what we thought about is if we can change, to your point, what we're built with and of, we can really change the game there. So first things first is we did meteorite. We bought from a broker in Sweden this huge piece of meteorite, and we made 3 limited edition collections of 800,000-year-old material, and we did it in a under $2,000 watch. And everyone's like, "What? In-house DLC case, almost a billion years?" It was just absolutely crazy. But we thought, if we can do that, then what's the next part? So titanium came in, a black ceramic, and then this year, again, just to go back to the point with the mother of pearl, we did white ceramic, and we made it a little bigger, because then it's a case of you guys are in the middle of the start of your summer now. Throw on some Speedos and a white ceramic watch with an orange strap. You are ready to rock and roll. Maybe not you, Andy, I understand.
Yeah. But Felix, that's more of a Felix look, to be honest.
Yeah.
Obviously. But it became something that we now getting known for. And this year just last month in October, we launched a watch with Worn and Wound, where we milled the case and we changed the dial, the bezel, the hands, and even the strap and the packaging to be luminous. We poured super luminova material into the case to make it glow just like a laser tag hall. And if you had black light underneath or over the top of the strap and the packaging, you would see it glow like maybe your UV adjacent clothing, or even your whitened teeth would underneath that black light. But we didn't want to just stand on our laurels. And what we've got for the next couple of years, obviously we can't say just yet, but we'll carry on that. Next year, we've got some really cool dial material. So it's not just a case of, same old watch, new color, new dial, which a lot of brands do. And we've done it for years to get people to know it. We want someone to say, this material, be it case, dial, or how it's put together, reflects me. And we can also go back to the 60s and 70s for Zodiac as well, because they did it back then as well.
I mean, you touched on the Worn and Wound collab, obviously Hodinkee over the years. Some of the collabs we've been loving lately.
Some that have just dropped in.
Some just dropped. Rowing Blazers back again.
Back in January, we got another Rowing Blazers coming out in about a week's time. Yeah,
Mike with the exclusives.
Is this a core part of sort of your strategy and the Zodiac's team strategy to kind of really grow the brand? What else can we expect?
In all honesty, if you look at who we partner with Huckberry, Worn and Wound, Hodinkee, you can see some very American centric. Obviously, there's a global reach, but they've got the biggest voices in the watch industry in terms of the media traditionally. And then you look at someone like Ariel Adams, who started a blog to read, now a blog to watch. He doesn't sell our watches, but he's designed a couple with us. We've found partners who can help accentuate and elaborate what we're trying to do. If you look at next year, we've only got a couple. And I think not because we don't want to work with them anymore. It's the fact that we don't want anyone just to think of us as a brand that's doing these drops or limited editions. We want the core to start to really sing. And so what you find with people like Ariel, he knows that he's been a part of our DNA. Hodinkee, they know that they're going to make a ton more money by selling some of their vintage Rolexes. And, Worn and Wound, they do incredible stuff with not just brands of our size, but there's micro brands that are out there, Anordain and Studio Underdog, people like that. They absolutely smash it, even their own brand with Adapt. But for us to work with them, their audience can see what we're trying to do. But what I've told everybody is I want people to look through the limiteds, look through the color, and see what Zodiac's all about, be it a vintage style with the Seawolf, or an upgrade in terms of the movement or materials. But those types of strategies have been brilliant. And so as we grow, we also know that if we do too many, there's going to be, let's say we did one with Hodinkee, and now we're making 50, 60,000 watches and we're all over the world, and we only make 200 watches. We're going to upset some people. And we don't want to do that anymore. We want to have a core collection that can be just as, I think, desired is the truth. And that's got to a point today where I think we can start to let go of some, not forever, but not rely on them partnerships to help us grow.
Amazing. All right, final question for you. Given the time of year, what is the best Zodiac to grab as a stocking filler?
Nice stocking, by the way, Andy.
Very nice stocking. Say it's Felix treating me to something.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're very bougie over here. I would say if you were going to get a watch that's good amount of money, but not crazy to buy as a gift, I think you look at the brand new Super Seawolf Skin 53. I think it brings out the spirit of Christmas. You've got the Christmas tree, and it's my personal favorite core watch we brought out this year. It's $1,595, which I'm not sure what that is in Australian, but a bargain, obviously.
Amazing. Good choice. Felix, did you write that down?
Yes, I did. Super Seawolf Skin 53 in a festive dark green dial.
Just to recap, close your eyes and picture Felix wearing a colourful pearl dial Zodiac in his...
I would legitimately
I know.
love pearl dials.
Oh, I thought you were going to say with the Speedo.
That did need to be said.
Christmas come early.
Sorry if we've just ruined your breakfast if you're listening.
Wow.
All made it.
Wow.
We're all of a certain age, Felix. We can make fun of each other.
Look, on that positive note, Mike, always. Is it always good to chat to you? I think it's always good to chat to you.
Not right now. But the Zodiac chat seems pretty positive.
Yeah.
Always good to talk about Zodiac. Yeah, that's the way to go.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Mike.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Felix, great to have Michael Pearson back on the pod for part 2. Great guy. Yeah. Loves his work. Loves Zodiac. Loves watches. Very passionate. It comes through. As we said, Time and Tide Watches, the place to get it if you're in Australia. Otherwise, check out their online store. Global shipping. Some great collabs out there. Go and try and track down maybe a Worn and Wound collab.
Yeah, nice. ZodiacWatches.com. I like it that you always refer to. I always go Mike Pearson. I don't think I've ever referred to him as Michael, but I
think he's Michael around the traps. I think friends call him Mike.
Oh, so maybe I just go off internet names. Anyway, someone who I would never be so casual around is Jean-Claude Biver, Mr. Biver.
Why is JCB such a legend, Felix?
Look, we'll give him I'm sure everyone here listening to this at this point knows, but let's give him the quick summary. Blancpain. Bought Blancpain in the 80s for a pittance and sold it for a much larger chunk of change. Went to work at Amiga. I think he had marketing at Amiga, maybe. He was like the guy that sort of masterminded the Bond deal. Then he, did his time there, went and, kickstarted, put some juice under the legacy name that was Hublot, turned that into a behemoth. Then he did that whole thing with the entire LVMH watch portfolio. Leaving there, he's only gone and put his own name on a dial, and he's now working with his family.
Yeah, one of the most influential, probably top 10 most influential people in watches, at least in the last 100 years.
He's we'll just let him tell us for himself what he's been up to.
Amazing. Let's do it.
There is never a good interview without good questions.
Wow. I wasn't expecting to speak to you. I was expecting to speak to your son.
Oh, he doesn't feel so well.
Yeah, okay, I understand. But
it's okay if I speak.
No.
You can register him tomorrow.
No. It's absolutely fine. But maybe that's where we start. What is it like having a business with your family?
For me, it's the ideal situation in theory. And it's a situation of which I have dreamt. I was dreaming to work with my son. I was dreaming to transfer some of my experience or some of my knowledge and, of course, many of my mistakes. So it was for me, and it is for me, an accomplishment that we succeeded. Now, how is it for him?
What would he say?
That's another point of view. He cannot see from his 23 years old what is the enrichment to listen to a 65-year-old man. And I accept this. And because I accept this, I learn from him. Because I don't say, this is bullshit. I say, why did he say that? I try to analyze.
Yeah.
I try to understand. And if you try to analyze and understand, and if you succeed to understand, you have improved yourself. You have learned something. But many people don't do this work.
Yeah.
They are not. They don't have enough passion.
Passion? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
And they just say, these young people, they say bullshit. No, you have to listen, then you have to analyze, and then you have to evaluate, and then eventually you can say this was not this bullshit. But in general, you're going to learn. And I think with each discussion can be positive when you learn.
So,
It's only negative when you didn't learn. Then you said, why did I spend half an hour?
so what have you learned from your son about the business of watches?
I learned that the first thing I learned, I must be more stable. I have tendency to change mind easily, because the change of mind is for me the natural way of handling business. Because business is not if you buy a house and if you buy a half, not a ready-made, everything goes at a certain place.
Yeah.
And that's not my perception. I thought in business you have the right to change your mind. You have the right, today it's raining, so you do another job.
Yep.
This flexibility. And if you are young, the flexibility can put you in comfort. It doesn't feel comfortable if the boss is flexible, if he changes his mind. And for me, the change of mind is a quality.
And is that different, before, LVMH and in your earlier career, you were surrounded by massive infrastructure and you
Yes.
had a position of great privilege. And now, obviously you have the connections and all this, but you're maybe more of a startup.
Yes.
You're a small business.
Totally startup, yes.
And you cannot afford to change strategy halfway through the year. Is that part of it, or?
No, it's not that I cannot afford. Yes, I can afford.
Sure.
I should afford. If I, as a small business, don't take the advantages of being small, then I only have the weaknesses of being small. I must also have advantages. Being small means you are quick. Being small means you are flexible.
Yep.
Being small means you change your mind in 10 minutes. And those are qualities of being small. And these qualities, it's only because you are small that you can afford them.
Yeah.
If you are in a big organization, you cannot do that because you destroy. So being small enables you a certain way of intervention, a certain way of action that normally you could not do.
Yeah.
Because if you do that with a brand that does 2 billion turnover, you destroy the whole thing.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't know if you understood. Yeah, you understood that.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. Everyone was very, very interested because you teased Biver watches, and that was, it was a slow reveal and everything. Oh, what are you going to do? What are you? I did not expect $500,000 carry-on titanium.
Yes.
That is not where I thought you would go.
No.
I don't know where I thought you would go, but that surprised me. What is that?
It's logic. My logic is that I have been in business 50 years.
Sure.
Number two, I have been the one that has produced the 6 masterpieces at Blancpain.
Okay.
The Ultra Slim,
Yep.
the Ultra Slim Moonface, the Perpetual, the Chrono Split, the Tourbillon, and the Minute Repeater in a box of 6. And we were selling the box of 6 masterpieces, always the same diameter, the same case. That was, at the moment, it was in 1989 when we brought out the 6 masterpieces. It was after we started in 81, it was after 8 years. And that is the highest point that I have reached professionally in the movements.
Yeah, okay.
Under my command, under my
Yeah,
management.
yeah.
I didn't do it myself.
Sure.
Under my management. So I could not, after that, start 20, 30 years later with just a 3-hand watch. people would have
You could.
I could, but it was not logic. The logic was, I went up to the Mount Everest. Now I decided that I go back, and I go back where? To the Mount Everest.
Yeah.
At my age.
But this is very. It speaks maybe to what you want to do with the brand. Like, sure, you could do a 3-hander watch. You could sell lots and lots of them, but you've chosen to do something very
exclusive, something very difficult.
Why? Just for the challenge?
Yes, for the challenge, number one, and that is what I like in the watches industry. It's like so the people who climb the Everest. Why do they choose the Everest? They can also go to the Mont Blanc, which is in Europe. They don't have to travel and much easier. Why? Because they have more excitement in Pakistan climbing at 8,300 meters than going to Mont Blanc. So the excitement, is different, and that is for me. Yeah, that's for me the watch.
Here's a question, and this is maybe philosophical, and I don't mean to be rude about it, but I always find, using that mountain metaphor, people that climb mountains, people that climb Everests, it's a very selfish act. It's you see all like the people that are around them, and maybe the Sherpas, they have to do all the carrying, and it's a selfish thing to have your name on the dial. What does it?
No, that's not selfish.
Okay, yeah, please tell me.
That is not selfish. That's economical.
Okay.
I had the choice to buy a brand. Sure. I say anything now. I don't want to.
Yep, of course. Yep.
Any brand.
Yep.
Or to do my own brand. When you take numbers, what does it cost if you take a name and the brand is unknown, more or less, like most of these small artisans.
It's from the history or whatever it is. Yeah.
You will have to inject money.
Yep.
If you take your own name,
brand,
my name is Biver.
Yeah.
And Biver is not known in the world. It is known very well in the little watchmaking world.
Yes.
So if I can get the name Biver for free of charge, or if I have to pay for
So you have spent the last 40 years building up the brand value of your own name.
Yes.
That is very clever. You're right.
Yes.
That is not selfish. That is smart.
That is not selfish. That is smart.
Yeah.
And I knew that one day I would do my own brand.
Yeah.
Why? Because I need to give back.
Yeah,
I cannot disappear with my own name being in my pocket, because then it means I take the whole thing back to the earth. I want my name, my experience, my success to be shared and to transfer to my family or to my son or my children. That's not decided now, but it's probably my son. And that finishes the circle.
That's cool.
You see, now I'm at 10 to 10.
Yeah.
I have another 10 minutes.
Then
go boom. Then it's 12. I'm 10 minutes from 12 away.
Are you prepared for that?
I prepare myself. Hello, just because I'm talking you about it tells you already that I'm conscious.
Yeah, sure.
I don't say I'm prepared, but I'm conscious.
Yeah.
And before being prepared, you must first be conscious. And
Yeah.
once you are conscious, then you do the next step. You prepare yourself.
Yeah. I've got 2 more questions. I know we don't have all the
No,
time.
I like your question.
You're okay? You're okay to...
I'm okay.
All right, okay. I've been thinking... So we're here at Dubai Watch Week. And I want to speak to you about that in a second. And there's a lot of talk here at the moment where... we're talking about the big issues of the watch industry. There was a great panel earlier with Mr. Siddiqui and with Robin Swithenbank about, wait lists and what the issues, and it seems to fundamentally come down to an issue of supply. with aside from the luxury branding
Yes.
and everything's limited by production. I was, at Watches and Wonders, I visited some factories, and the common theme there was it's hard to find skilled technicians and skilled watchmakers, and there's figures maybe about, the watch industry is retiring skilled labour faster than they're training new labour. Is it a real problem, and how would you fix it?
I don't think we have a big problem with skills, with people.
Okay. You answered the question.
I think we have a small problem,
Okay.
which we will always have. It will never be easy to find in a middle field good football player,
Yep.
even if we have already a few, but we need the next guy, and the next guy we don't have it for
Yeah.
the moment as a football player, but they will come, and same thing, I believe we will find the good people, because to get good people you must first educate,
Sure.
then you must share knowledge.
Yep.
Many watchmakers don't want to share their knowledge,
Sure.
because they think it weakens them
Sure.
when everybody knows the trick.
Yeah.
Number three, they want to keep the circle small, so they make it difficult for foreigners to enter.
Mm-hmm.
They concentrate, for which reason, exclusively, more or less, to Swiss people.
Mm-hmm.
They just forget that the watch making art was developed by Protestant from England, from France, from Germany,
Yeah.
and not from Switzerland.
You guys have made your name making knockoff Dutch watches, or
Yeah. So you see, the fact that we have a problem of knowledge of people is not true. But if you don't educate them, if you don't give them their chance, if you don't pay them, if you treat them
Poorly.
unrespectful,
Yeah.
don't be surprised that you don't find the right people.
Is that what's happening now?
I don't say it's happening. I have
Okay.
not enough experience.
sure.
I only know that for me, I have all the people I need.
Yep.
I am in need of nobody. Although I could also say I'm of need of everybody who is good.
Yeah.
Because
sure.
good people, it doesn't matter if you have three instead of two.
So it sounds like there that you're, maybe it's an issue of like the right level of trained Swiss.
That's one
Yep.
problem, the training. Number two, you must allow young people to do mistakes,
Sure.
but many bosses don't.
We're not talking about your son though, right?
No, but my son is like me. I said I hope I will do enough mistakes in future, because that means that I'm still young.
Yeah.
If in future I will do no mistakes, it means that I will be out.
Yeah.
Because if I take no more risk, if I don't do mistakes, means I know everything, and then I'm useless.
Yeah.
I'm only useful if I do mistakes, because that is the learning process.
Yep.
And from my mistakes, if I do a mistake, I must share the mistake. And people are very often proud to share success. But more important, they must share failures, because you can learn from my failure.
Yeah.
And if I don't share my failure,
Yeah.
I don't give you the chance to match my knowledge.
Next, what?
What is it? Is it okay, man?
No, of course. I mean, I asked you a question, and you know far more about it than I do. So of course it's okay. We're here in Dubai. It's very hot, though we've had thunderstorms. It's been very interesting. What do you think of Dubai Watch Week?
Brilliant.
Why?
Brilliant because it's very relaxed.
Yep.
You don't have the impression you are in a commercial salon.
100%.
It's like if you are like a tourist.
Yeah.
You can sit outside, you can eat, you can go. It's a very comfortable situation, number one. Number two, it's extremely well organized. And number three, it's extremely safe.
Yep.
And number four, it's extremely clean.
Okay.
Everything is clean. Clean means the people are nice, the people answer the questions, the people are always ready to help. If you compare that to our old Basel Fair, when people were arrogant, when people thought they are the kings, when they just said like that, they treat you horribly. Here, everybody's open, everybody speaks English. It's phenomenal.
It's for me. So this is my first time here, and it's my biggest mental reframing because I'm used to, I prepared. I'm like, okay, so I get 20 minutes of the brand. I got to take the photos. I got to do the thing. I got to speak to you 20 minutes, and I got to fill my day up with all this. And so I get here. I'm like, oh, I don't, and I can walk up to. I had a chat to the gentleman that's Speak Marin before, and I just walked up and had it's great.
It's great.
Do we need is this the future of
it's the future
communication?
of Basel, if I may say. Basel Fair is dead.
Yeah.
And Dubai Fair starts.
Yeah, and everyone else.
One died, the other one is on the go.
Yeah, LVMH seems to have a similar their product presentation, and there's
as long as LVMH comes here.
So you think it's the geography that it's
No.
Dubai as well?
If I say LVMH,
yeah,
if they come to Dubai Week,
yeah, sure,
and they are part of Dubai Week,
yeah,
that's a big asset. If LVMH does another show during the same period or 1 month earlier,
okay.
in Abu Dhabi,
that's
not
cool.
I hope.
Yeah.
Voila. So as long as LVMH integrates the Dubai Week, it's good.
The other thing I find fascinating about this is it kind of flies in the face of, in Australia at least, there is such an intense interest in brand-owned or mono-brand boutiques. Everyone's doing their own thing in their own space. And this is like the power of what multi-brand retail can be. It's surprising that one retailer group can put this massive thing together because they've got such, a portfolio of brands.
Yes.
Do you think that's are we going to sort of see a swing back? Everyone sort of said retailers are dead. It's the monobrand boutique.
That is a question which people could ask themselves. Are the monobrand boutiques
any watch executives listening to this?
Is that over or not?
Yeah.
Now, for me,
oh no, you come through. Everyone's a friend. Hello, Sophie. Hello, goodbye.
If you own a brand, if I own a brand,
sure, you do.
Yes, and if I do my own shops,
yep.
As long as my turnover evolutes and goes
the right way,
25% more, 15% more, my cost of being by my own shops,
yep,
is profit, more or less.
Yep.
I simplify. When business is going down, your loss is double.
Okay.
You lose because the retailers are not buying so much anymore.
Yep.
And you lose in additionally in your own shop where you don't do the same turnover. Yeah. So double cost. So as long as it goes up,
everything's fine.
Everything is fine.
Yeah.
Wait till things go down. Now, as we have learned a lot in the last years, people are probably already prepared to the eventuality that it goes down.
Sure.
I don't know. Everybody prepares himself in his own way, or people have built reserves or whatever. But it's true that we must be careful. The business is booming, then our own shops are clearly an asset. When business is going down, what do we do with our own shops and the stock they have?
Yeah, right. Fascinating.
Voilà. So for the moment, I see no threat. I think it will go on with a consolidation. It means what people see now, there is a consolidation, but please don't confuse a consolidation with a going down.
Yeah, okay.
It's not because we do only plus 13 instead of plus 35. That's still plus 13.
Yeah. It's
It's a little bit less like last year, but it's still plus.
good. Yeah.
It's still too good.
Well, last question, because I think you've probably got, I don't know, something else to be doing. It seems like you're a busy man here. I'm not in the market for a $500,000 carry-on tourbillon with your name on it, but I'd be very interested. Will there be more accessible products, or is it staying super high end? Do you have a strategy there?
Yes, I had to start with the most difficult I could manage.
Yep.
Once this has come out, once this has been successful in the production,
Yep.
successful in the quality, successful in the product development, then if I come with a 80,000 watt, which is extremely expensive still,
Yep.
then I have opened the way for the 80,000.
Sure.
The 500,000 opens the business, the market for the 80,000. That is the trick.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, you know what you're doing, huh?
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
The 85,000, if it comes after the 500,000, but
That's
has
right,
the
yeah.
same quality of finishing, 100% the same.
Yeah.
The same, all. The finishing is the same, 100%. The complication is not the same,
Yeah.
but the finishing is the same.
It's harder to ask.
So-
yeah.
You can buy, because what is interesting in your watch? Is it the finishing or is it the complication? For certain people, it's the finishing. For other people, it's the complication. And for others, it's the two together. So we opened the market to come with the 85,000, bam, and to run into it. If we wouldn't have done the 500,000, the 80,000 would be more difficult to sell.
Yes. Yeah, look.
It's like the Cayenne, Porsche Cayenne, and then came the Macan, or I don't know the name.
It's okay.
That was much cheaper.
Yeah.
First came the Cayenne. Everybody said, "Ah, Cayenne." And then
They sold more, yeah.
Then they did the Macan.
Yeah. Last question. Are you having fun?
The day I will have no fun, I will retire, I swear.
Yeah.
Why should I work? Why should I give interviews? Why should I be here? Why should I not sleep during the night?
You don't have to. You could just...
I could be with my wife.
You'd be making cheese.
I could, exactly. So I do this because I have fun and I am motivated to teach to my son.
Yep.
I have two sons in the business.
Yep.
I have two. I will have also my wife. I said to my wife, now you come also. Yes,
the full
you
fam.
will be my secretary. I always tried to avoid this, but I said no. Now
It's full-on family
yeah,
business.
exactly. So I have even enlarged my family business because I love it, and somehow I feel like a padre, I feel the responsibility to have this family running.
Let's not say Godfather. That's, I don't know.
No, that's a little bit mafia.
Swiss Watch Mafia.
No, I'm not.
Of course. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. A lovely surprise. I was expecting your son, but I got you as well. So maybe.
Yes. I had an appointment with my son.
Yeah. No. Look, any Biver it's a pleasure to speak to, I'm sure. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you.
Andy, are you inspired?
I'm always inspired after hearing or talking to JCB.
I'm sure I've mentioned this to you before, perhaps offline. I'm going to mention it online here. Very strangely, he reminds me, whenever I speak to him, of my late paternal grandmother.
She also made her own cheese?
Maybe she might have. I don't know. Similar energy. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a sort of vaguely Euro accent, high energy passion thing. But if there's any Schultz family members listening to this, let me know what you think. Not just reviews, emails, follow us on Instagram, also immediate blood relatives.
Yeah, we'll get real niche and targeted. Thank you, Zodiac watchers, for supporting OT the podcast. Make sure you go check them out. We can't recommend them enough. Make sure you're leaving us 5-star reviews across your platform of choice. You're sharing it. You're telling beyond your blood relatives. Tell them about the show. ot.podcast on Instagram. If you want to email Felix, heritage.com stuff, otthepodcast@gmail.com. Maybe we can track some lineage. Maybe JC.
You mean ancestry.com?
I don't know if the date's that up. Yeah, ancestry.com. Felix, nice work.
Yeah, it's got to be great.
See you next week.